Opener.
We're about to hit.
You're live.
We're live.
Are we?
Live.
Oh man.
That snuck up on me.
Chef is in the dish pit finishing up. So.
Hello. Hello. Welcome everybody. It is 5:30 Thursday night and we are live, or barely alive, some of us, in the well-seasoned kitchen. I'm Angie, this is Chef Deniz, and we are happy to have you here with us on Thursday night.
Like every other Thursday this is the first year, I think. Is this the 52nd week?
This is our anniversary. This is our
this is our first
1 year
year.
anniversary cooking class.
Been coming to the same party for the last 52 times, and there's no way it sucks.
I know, we're basically like this old married couple on Thursday nights. And
No marriage for me, please. I'm done with that part of my life.
So I thought we would celebrate our anniversary with some bubbly.
Sure.
Why not?
I thought we were just gonna have a cocktail.
I am going to make a champagne cocktail. Well, it's Mother's Day this weekend. Are you going to call your
Mom's?
mom? Is Mother's Day a thing in Turkey?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
yeah,
it is?
Yeah. It's been only 6 years I haven't seen her, so it's not that bad. And probably 4 months I haven't talked to her.
So she'll be expecting to hear from you this weekend?
Hopefully, if I remember it. I'm a horrible child, I'm not going to lie to you. The love is there, the protection is there. I love them to bits, they love me to bits, but I'm not a big communicator.
Okay, well, maybe you should call her this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be nice. You know what, Mom? I might call you.
Oh, that's very generous of you.
It is.
So tonight in this episode, we are cooking with rhubarb. That is like the surefire sign of spring.
That's
Fresh
the
rhubarb.
first one that comes out.
First thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then asparagus, and then peas follow, and then the fava beans, and morels. Morels are actually started to show up. Sea asparagus is coming out too, so it's nice.
You missed spot prawns. Those open this week too.
Yeah, the spot prawns are coming in. I am really excited. I'm just gonna talk to my bank guy and get a mortgage so I can enjoy a pound.
A pound of prawn.
It's so expensive.
I know. Everything is so expensive right now. Just today alone, I got 2 emails from my 2 really large suppliers saying the price of everything is going up.
Yeah.
I got huge price increases today. And then the cost of freight and shipping across the ocean is just like literally out of control right now.
I have a friend, same thing. He's been doing the same bread production for the last 6 years. He says there is no packaging pricing crisis in the last 6 years, but right now they are just like taking it up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So
Yeah. Anyway,
anyhow,
let's not
so it's Mother's Day this weekend, and we've got fresh rhubarb that we found at Nature's Pickins out in Abbotsford. Fresh local rhubarb, and it's beautiful.
It is
Did
very
you use
nice,
it all?
It's well, we will cook with it.
Okay. Okay.
And then, yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, which is really odd because, why we celebrate, what's Cinco de Mayo? Is it Remembrance Day?
No, it's like an Independence Day sort of thing.
We're Canadian, like what?
Dude.
You know what it is? It is another reason to drink margaritas and
Yes.
eat tacos is what it is.
Right,
Yeah.
basically.
And a whole North America buys into it.
Did you have something else to do yesterday?
No, I was
No.
sitting by the margarita wheel and just chugging away until I couldn't chug anymore.
So we had a staff happy hour here yesterday for Cinco de Mayo, and Chef made some tacos for the staff, and then we had some, Sandra made margaritas. It was very festive.
It was. We even had a piñata, which is there, which I should go grab it.
Michelle brought a piñata. It was pretty amazing. So, yes, Chef, Cinco de Mayo is just a reason to celebrate during the COVID and do something a bit different.
No, it's about.
They do not celebrate that in Mexico.
They don't?
Is it?
Barb says they don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
North Americans are fascinating people.
Oh, you
There's
didn't
always
bring the filling from the piñata.
I didn't stay to see what's in it. But,
Oh, those are in it. So
the
Michelle,
booze. Okay.
Michelle filled the piñata with miniature bottles of liquor, obviously, as
I'll
one
do my
does.
lucky piñata tonight because I'm making soufflé.
So anyhow, yeah, Cinco de Mayo, I don't know why we're talking about that, because now we're cooking with rhubarb. So one of my favorite things to make with rhubarb is a rhubarb syrup for cocktails. I add a little bit of syrup into a gin and tonic. It's a really nice change. And today, Chef actually made the syrup for me this afternoon. So it's a simple syrup, right? Equal
is a
parts
simple
sugar,
syrup. Yeah,
water.
exactly.
1 cup sugar, 1 cup water. And he cooked it with the rhubarb, so you get this spectacular pink-red color. And for Mother's Day, typically you would maybe serve a mimosa with your tea or your brunch, but this is like a mimosa. So this is like a rhubarb, a rhubarb mimosa. Look how pretty that
My
is.
mom goes for the hard bar. She doesn't mix around and cocktails around. And
Mama D hitting the vodka first thing in the morning.
no, she drinks a type of Pernod. She loves that stuff. It's yeah. We call it
Just
vodka in Turkey.
straight? How does she drink it?
It's diluted with a little bit of water.
Oh, really?
She can drink. I'm so
I
proud
love
of her.
Pernod for cooking. I love like Pernod prawns or it's good.
It is-
Okay,
it is a nice
that's
wine.
for you.
All right. Us,
That
so
one's for
festive.
David. Cheers. Happy
Cheers.
anniversary,
Happy
Chef.
anniversary.
Happy anniversary, you guys.
Cheers.
And
That
this
is
is
actually quite nice.
this
It is absolutely ruining a good bottle of wine. I'm not going to lie to you. if I was to make this wine to you, bottled it, put it in front, and you just put some rhubarb syrup in it, I would be upset. But
Well-
that being said, it's so delicious at the same time.
Well, my friend Crystal Lee, this is her wine.
I know.
And her
talked to
winery.
yeah.
And she, I can tell you from with 100% certainty, she would not be angry at me for adjusting her wine
I'm
into
just old
something
and bitter
different.
is what it is.
She'd be really thrilled that I was using her wine to make this cocktail to share with my mom, who I love. And she wouldn't give me a bad time like you.
I'm not
about
giving you a bad
this.
time, but you know what? Just to you people, have you ever seen a cook making a crispy prosciutto? I'm gonna go through that whole process, give you a 24-month-old ham, and you're just gonna take it and put it in a pan. I'm like, you ain't getting no more boost on the prosciutto. But I have a different opinion on things, so it's just. But anyway, but it is
and it's a
incredibly
beautiful
delicious.
color,
Yeah.
and you know it's perfect for your Mother's Day brunch or just even a happy hour. Evolve Cellars, this is part of the Time Winery.
actually
Evolve.
very good.
They're based in Penticton. Their wine is phenomenal. Their bubbly is one of my favorite BC wines. And like I said, my friend Crystal Lee, this is her winery, and it is spectacular. So you can't go wrong buying anything with the Evolve label on it. And yeah, we love our BC wine here, that's for sure.
Awesome. So this week is the rhubarb.
Yeah.
And I love rhubarb in savory apple. First things first, I love dipping rhubarb in salt and just munching on it. People dip it in sugar for the balance, but I love full savory things too. I think it's great. It reminds me of this little umeboshi plums in Japan, they call it. We call them papazerik. These plums I used to dip in salt when I was a child, so it just, you know, this to me, it has this exact same accent to it. I didn't grow up with rhubarb, first time I've seen it here in Canada. It is excellent in savory applications, just like with a quick pickle or cooked into, it has a lot of acidity to it, so it plays exceptionally well. So we have a little scallop action. Also, this is a Mother's Day week, please take these recipes. These are going to be like good treats for your mom. A nice shellfish, a delicious cocktail like this. And we're going to end up with chocolate because mom deserves chocolate. And I'm right now, this is one of the dishes I very rarely choose to do because it intimidates me so much that we're going to attempt a soufflé. So I'm scared, but I'm really excited to get into it also. This recipe that you have is a solid recipe. It is, well, obviously there's a failure component to it. It might happen. But what I'm trying to, okay, what's going on?
Oh, Michelle's turning the music off. I forgot to. Yeah,
okay.
sorry about that.
Yeah. It is a treat. When you pull it off, it comes out of the oven all puffed up and this and that. It is a treat. I didn't want to diet, because okay, this is Mother's Day and mom deserves a deep, dark chocolate, elegant dessert. But I just use the rhubarb as a side component. I like to put a little bit of caramel in there, if I can, or creme anglaise, both works. But this time I'm just going to do a little rhubarb caramel, which is excellent for your waffle topping or just to have it on the table, actually. It's great on ice cream. It is this very solid, again, caramel recipe. And I'm going to show you Eleanor's method to how to make a caramel, which is fast and furious. Hopefully
Like
he'll
him,
burn it.
he's fast and usually furious.
But yeah, but I'm really, really, really excited for tonight. And slightly intimidated, but I have you on my side. Is Doug in the house? I might need a...
All right, Doug.
Doug, let's get your timer on. Not yet. But, we'll talk about it. And
So I think rhubarb is one of those interesting things that really, it's got enough flavor, like it's intensely sour, and it holds up in dishes on like with other things. So typically, if you were having a rhubarb pie, it would be rhubarb and strawberry or rhubarb and apple, because the rhubarb on its own can really still shine with lots of other ingredients.
it doesn't have a whole lot of essence, but it's used for its acidity. I mean,
Right.
it has a slight amount of like essence to it, but it's mostly used for its acidity, and that's why there's a crisscross, because this is actually a full-on savory stock. So you just gotta get some sweetness in. You don't have to.
Have you ever pickled it? Rhubarb?
No, but I use it a lot. I make a lot of quick pickles.
Yeah.
Like salt and sugar things, or just like the very fast pickles. So I've used it a lot, but especially with shellfish and this and that, or any fish, because fish cries for acidity.
Yeah, because the richness of the fish works so well with the asparagus. But asparagus does make a really nice pickle. I've had it. Rhubarb. I've had it several times, and it works really well with like roasted meats and stuff like that. Again, something really rich where that acidity kind of cuts through. So tonight's recipes will be great for you to cook for Mother's Day if you're able to see your mom, or just a Wednesday night for dinner for your family.
Or if you're like me, just send her the recipes and say Happy Mother's Day, and you can deal with it.
DIY.
I love you, Mom, but you know how it is.
So I think Jenna's probably posted the recipes now, and so they're up there and ready for you guys to follow along or cook along if you're cooking along with us. The recipes will be shared on our website, and they live here on Facebook, so you can pop back in anytime and check on, if you're going to make the souffle at home, get some tips or tricks.
And make it at home. It's like, if you can't pull it off, it might take a couple of trials. It is a great moment when you pull it out and it's just on there, like,
Is
just
it like bloomin' onion great?
Nah. I'd trade a onion for a chocolate
A bloomin'
any day.
onion? Okay, so if you have questions, just type them into the comment bar and I'll relay them to Dennis. If you have questions about rhubarb or anything, we'll do our best to answer it. But yeah, I think that's it for now. So let's get cooking. And,
All right, I'm going to
I'll
secure the
check
dessert
back.
first.
Okay, do it.
That's actually a very nice cocktail.
Thank you, Chef.
Yes. All right, so you have your proportions. I'm going to work with the ingredients right now. In here, I have a double boiler, which means I put a little bowl of water just to melt my chocolate. You're more than welcome to use your microwave, which works great actually for chocolate.
And that's a dark chocolate, yeah.
That is dark chocolate. That is around 56% cacao. And that's it. Yes, that's a dark chocolate. Now, first things first, we gotta make our meringue. And also ahead of time, this is in your recipes. I grabbed your recipe yields to 6. I grabbed 3. I did a half recipe because we're 3 people here. We're 4, but I don't count myself as a person. And I buttered this with soft butter. And when I buttered this, I just first smear the butter, make sure that I have covered all my space. And then you take your brush, paint brush, obviously a clean one, and then I just make upward strokes for when the souffle starts heating up. It is not challenged by, just like sideways strokes, but it encourages it upward. So these are my ramekins, and as soon as they're ready, put them in the fridge until you're ready. My egg whites goes into my mixer. Eggshell. How you like that? My egg whites, now I'm going to start whipping these. Okay, go full blast. I have my sugar. My sugar is going to go in 3 stages once it started to bubble. And here, what I'm going to do in my melted chocolate, I'm going to add my yolks. Okay, and I'm going to add my butter. And I'm going to whisk this into mix this into a nice shiny consistency. Okay. Let's just turn the heat on again. Let's get rid of the used stuff. Now I started to, well, that's my first shot of sugar. And in here, melted chocolate with egg yolks and butter. There is no going back now. Okay. All right. Let's just hit the speed. The only thing is you make sure that your water is not touching your chocolate so that it doesn't. And then second shot of sugar so it doesn't seize up your chocolate. Chocolate can be quite temperamental.
I think Gladys is joining us tonight from New Mexico, and she says they celebrate Cinco de Mayo there. But also, Gladys, I think today's your birthday, so have a happy birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Gladys. I actually sent her a Facebook message.
Oh, that was nice of you, Chef.
I do nice things every once in a while. Not all the time, but every once in a while. So, my chocolate and my egg yolks and butter are combined. To this, I'm going to add my cocoa powder. Now, normally souffle recipes would have flour, but this one uses cocoa powder, so it's also gluten-free too. It's not dairy-free. Okay, now my cocoa powder is in, and my meringue is whipped. Actually, I'm just going to do 10 more seconds while I get rid of these. What you're looking at is a nice shiny meringue with stiff peaks, as we say it in the kitchens. Let's take this out. As you can see, it's nice and stiff.
So, Chef, Barb has asked if these are real egg whites, and obviously they are. But
Yeah,
can you
of
use the?
No, you can't use anything else.
No.
No. I mean, no.
But if you buy the egg whites in the store, do those work in meringues? They're just egg whites?
I've never buy those things, and I really don't know. I've actually never used them. But just use the real stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Barb. Use the real thing.
I'm just going to take some of my meringue. Okay. And I'm going to lighten up my chocolate mix. Okay. Now, you're just going to take a third of your meringue and put it in your chocolate mix so it lightens up so we can whisk some air into it. You can be rough with this part. It's not the end of the world. But once we fold into the actual meringue, as you can see, this is nice and airy now. Now I can whip air into it. Because once you put the egg yolks and the cocoa powder and whatnot, it'll be thick. If you try to do it all at once, it might really end up being clumpy. Okay, so this goes away. And then what I'm going to do from the side of the bowl, I'm going to go and then I'm going to fold right into the middle. From the side of the bowl, right into the middle. And I'm not pushing it down. I'm not pushing it around. Or I'm not really roughhousing it. Just literally just go from the side and fold into the middle. Until you get a cohesive mix with no white streaks. Any questions?
No, not so far. Everybody's just paying attention, Chef.
Incredible.
Someone did ask about the rhubarb syrup, how much rhubarb went in. And I like it to actually taste like rhubarb, so when I make it, I use about 2 cups, but I'm not sure what you used.
For this, I had about 100 mils of rhubarb, 100 mils of sugar, and 150 mils of water. The reason the water is slightly heavy is so I can extract that color into my rhubarb. I have that evaporation time. So you just bring 100 mils of thinly sliced rhubarb to 100 mils of sugar and 150 mils of, you know what, this isn't the recipe, but I'm going to put a pinch of salt in there.
Oh God. Oh God, he's going off. He's going off the plan.
I have my
Free range.
wonderful free range. That's a good one. Pinata back there. We ain't going to fail tonight.
Just going feral.
Will Ferrell?
He was feral before tonight.
Yeah.
Before the salt in the souffle.
Yeah. A pinch of salt brings a lot of, hopefully it will, all this talk. Anyway, so as you can see, I have a nice fluffy batter. Okay, now this is mixed. Now comes portioning this into the cups. Really, there's not a whole lot to it. Grab it, drip drop, and put it in. And I'm just going to go almost close to the rim, okay? I'm not packing it. I'm not doing any of that. Now, number 2. You can make this 4 hours ahead of time or 3 hours ahead of time and put it in your fridge. And from fridge, you can just go directly in the oven by all means. Chef David calls this a no-fail chocolate souffle recipe, but that notion doesn't exist in the kitchen. So, especially in the souffle making.
So Rick says salt good, pepper to balance sometimes. Not in the souffle, Rick, I don't think. On the rhubarb, you could do some really delicious roasted rhubarb in the oven and put a little bit of balsamic vinegar, some black pepper on that would be really delicious.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the advice.
Chef Gladys would like to know if you spilled anything on your shoe today. Gladys saw the Instagram of your incident the other day, apparently.
You can tell that we're up to a year now. People know about things around here. Now, I'm making a mini souffle for myself because I get to eat every once in a while. Not always in the dish pit. So one other trick is that obviously have your clean hands. This mini souffle is not going to work with that because it is just short, just like myself. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the tip of my finger and I'm going to run it to the edge of the souffle. What it's going to do is this is just going to create a little lip so that from the top I don't have that stickies to the sides, but I have a nice top which will should spring up. Hoping. Okay, with this one too. So we cut. So once it starts going up, the whole mass, then we're in good luck. Now this can go in the fridge for a second. All right.
Oh, your piñata attacked you. That's ironic somehow.
It almost took the soufflés out, actually.
That would have been tragic.
Hey, I didn't hit you yesterday. Other people did. Which I think is a very, very dangerous thing to have, the whole piñata thing. All right, so next dish. Now we secured the dessert, hoping. The next dish is pickled rhubarb with scallops, Quaale-based scallops. These are local. What I've done is I haven't shucked these. These was frozen, but I just put them on paper towels and drain excess moisture as much as you can. You know what they say, that what sticks to the pan, and you need to get your pan super, super hot and this and that. But wet moisture and a super hot pan will create a vacuum effect and you will get stuck. So the drier your protein or whatever you're cooking in a pan, the better chances that you are not going to get stuck. So here's my diced rhubarb. To this, I'm going to add a pinch of salt and sugar. And I'm going to quickly toss this around so the whole thing is seasoned before I add my liquid. And then I'm going to put a little bit of white wine vinegar. Actually, let's use a spoon rather than our hands. Which I like to use my hands in cooking because those are your best tools. So that's my pickled rhubarb part. Now, the scallops. Scallops cooks very fast. And we are blessed in this province with some of the best shellfish available to us all year round. So today what we're going to do is we're going to sear our scallops, and I'll tell you how I do scallops. A lot of chefs have a lot of opinions on this, but you know, this is my way, and then I find some of the best fish cooks in the world uses this method also. So we're going to start with a pan, start to heat up. You can use non-stick pan. There's nothing wrong with that. The reason why we don't use non-stick in the kitchens, other than egg applications, is they're perishable pans. They get scratched and, you know, go out of commission very, very fast, especially in a busy volume kitchen. So we tend to use just regular pans. But at home, honestly, I have an IKEA pan that is $16, which does a lot of work for me. Yeah, and I love it. And those cheap $16 IKEA pans are actually very good for cooking fish because they're very thin metal. They're like an F1 car. They go fast and slow in a matter of seconds. You just got to be able to control your heat. And
Chef Doug wants to know if you ever brine your scallops.
Nope.
Nope. Sorry, Doug. Next question.
It is such a sweet, delicious, and a delicate thing. Why would you brine a scallop?
I don't know.
I actually never even heard of it. Now, what you can do is just to tighten up a little bit, you can just like pre-salt it. I would say if you're using Diamond Crystal Kosher salt, do yourself a favor, come to Well Seasoned and grab a box because it's the best salt out there. Right, this one. All the pros use, and we sell it.
Pro tip.
Yeah. You can just weigh your protein and put 2% salt on there and just let it sit for about an hour. Some people call it dry brining, but it's not. It's a very pretentious term. It is actually called salting the meat, and so that the salt starts to penetrate. But other than that, no, I don't have complicated things for scallops because these are very good quality scallops, and we have some of the best shellfish in the world as the Great Pacific Northwest. So the less you do to it, the better it is. And honestly, I love them raw also. So our scallops, just going to grab a pinch of salt, not too much. Scallops is all mostly about sweetness. This is not about saltiness. And then goes into my pan. And if you're doing a lot of volume cooking, I always start at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, and a bullseye. Okay? So, and the reason why I counted these is because when it's time to flip it, I know which one and go in first. Have your temperature. I'm going to turn my temperature down. Now, when I cook fish, I sear fish. I do this only on one side. I do know for a fact that if you do it on both sides and overly caramelize it, because as the heat is hitting them right now, they're really contracting and pulling back. So the top is going to be slightly smaller in radius than the bottom, which is a good thing in this application. But if you do it to the both sides, the whole thing ends up being seized. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to sear them. And when you're searing something, don't move it around. Let it sit. And let the pan do the caramelization. Because if you keep on moving your scallops, such as this, then you're going to stop caramelization with every time you move them around. One side crust, and there is all to it. On the other hand,
in olive oil, right?
Yeah, that's just a good old olive oil. And you don't need excessive caramelization on your scallops. You just don't. Like shellfish or any fish doesn't need a whole lot of cooking. especially if they're good quality like this. So just put it down, cook it really, really briefly, and enjoy the whole thing as is. Shellfish also is one of the most nutrient, not one of the most, it is the most nutrient dense food, but awful. So good quality shellfish is exceptional for you.
Yeah, it's expensive, but you don't need a lot of it.
Yeah, you need 4 scallops.
Yeah.
And then there's all to it. It's not like, or you need 8 crab, or maybe 2, depending on the day, depending on what's going on out there. But it doesn't take too much with shellfish, except spot prawns. I'm just like, this is, yeah.
Barb said spot prawns last year were $56 a pound. I don't remember
Who
that.
sold that?
I don't know.
Commercially, like wholesale, I usually pay 26 or 30, but that's still, considering the heads of the prawn, that's a lot of money.
It is.
It is. So when you have that kind of delicacy, you don't put teriyaki, chipotle, barbecue sauce, and this and that on it. You just
ketchup.
Just ketchup, a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of liquid smoke. It's all good. Okay. I'm gonna flip my scallops. Again, they're nicely crusted on one side. Again, you don't need excess browning, just a little bit. To this, I'm going to grab a handful of butter and I'm going to add it to my pan. So this butter with that excess heat of pan is going to turn into brown butter. And then, now you can shake your pan around, put all your scallops to the one side of the pan. Okay? Tilt your pan. Obviously tilt my side, and then you baste it. Okay? Let's not cut contact with heat. This is where it takes from a regular scallop to a, we can see in the pan, right, David? So it is all bubbly, it's all nice, and it's all happy in there. I am going to give this 30 seconds because these are U10 scallops. U10 means there are 10 scallops in a pound. Oh, it's a good way to go, honestly. I'm not going to lie to you. And then in a matter of 20 seconds from now, these are going to be cooked. And I'm going to use my pan for the same pan for the sauce making. Now, while the scallops are just like almost done, I'm going to introduce my rhubarb to this side, to this brown butter part. So I get a little bit of cookage.
So that rhubarb has just been sliced really thin, right?
Just, that's it. There is all to it. Nothing has been done. This is a puree application, so I didn't season it excessively. Come back to your other rhubarb. Toss it around. All right, now that was my 20 seconds, or maybe 30. Doug, are you counting? Now your scallops will be done. Let's turn this down. When it feels expanded, okay? It's gonna look like they're mad at you, staring back at you, but all expanded. That's when you know the heat reached in the middle of the scallops, and as things heat, they do expand. And that you just want to warm it through. Now, as my scallops are resting, I'm going to toss my rhubarb in the brown butter. I called the shallot department today. They didn't show up for work, so we're using a white onion. But you're more than, if you don't have shallots, white onion is just fine. Onion is in. My pinch of salt, that is cooking.
Doug says 40 seconds.
40 seconds. All right, sorry, Doug. Little slippage. There's a bottle of white wine. All right, let's go a little bit faster. See, you just cook with the wine that you can drink, right?
Right.
This is a very expensive shop, but anyway. We spare no expense to give you good cuisine. Or Angie does, at least. Okay, now I have, you can more than welcome to put a little anchovy in here, but now we're dealing with rhubarb, so I don't want to mess with it too much. Now this is lovely, right around the rim. There you go. Hello.
Hello.
I guess it's a sippy time.
A little for the pan, a little for the chef.
Yeah. As you can see, it's just lovely and it's bubbling. And, well, it's bubbles. That's one of the reasons. Okay. Now, it has a beautiful, beautiful rhythm. We're going to take the rest of the butter and we're going to put it in our pan.
And do you care salted, unsalted?
Never.
No.
I had a lot of pastry chefs that used to yell at me because of the salted, unsalted, and this and that all throughout the cooking years. Now, all of them put a pinch of salt on all of their desserts. So, anyway, so the rest of the butter is gone in. This is going to thicken our puree. And we are going right into this buzzer beater.
Did you season the rhubarb and stuff, chef, or just the salt in the pan from the
Just salt in the
scallops?
pan when I put the onions in. Because, again, this is not an aggressively salty dish. We're not cooking, you know, fast food. This is all about the sweetness of the scallops and the savoriness of the rhubarb. Let's turn this on. And I'm going to let this go. Okay. And then we go high. Okay. Sorry for the sound.
That was a bit aggressive.
Well, you have to put the oomph in the cooking, right? You can't just attend to it. Now the puree looks lovely. As lovely as it looks, you have to taste this. Oh man, it's very good actually.
I'm excited.
I'm quite pleased with it. It's good. Now to my plate again. I'm not serving this with excessive garnish, you know. But you know me, I am anti-garnish. But that's me. We're just going to.
I think this is the first dish you've ever made without any herbage.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay.
Now you can smear, plot, throw it around, or just whatever, but you know. Just gonna go to the bottom of the plate.
So fancy. See, your mom would love this. My mom would love this.
My mom loves my cooking, I'm not gonna lie to you. Last time I just got angry with her because she cooked the anchovies too long, but we still get along somehow. You know, you can't abuse fish. I'm gonna stop you if you are. And then you can put it around the plate, you can put them in a row. If you're really, really fancy, you can just put them around the edge, I guess. All right, Angie, come on, have a taste.
All right, I'm excited.
You should be. I think you guys can handle 5. Because these are good size. Now to this, I'm just gonna grab some of my pickled rhubarb. Let's taste it. And sprinkle it around the plate.
So that's, sorry, what is that? The pickled rhubarb?
This is the pickled rhubarb. That's going to give you extra acidity and crunch. Because this is a soft plate. Now we're going to grab our chives.
Oh, the herbage.
Which is the lame onions.
It's what?
Lame green onions.
How come they're lame?
because they're designed for, they're not designed, but they're very good with wine focused food because they're not very aggressive. You suffer from raw onions, right?
This is very Instagram worthy, chef.
Is it?
Yes.
Do you want me to put some paprika around the rim?
The Insta will love this dish. David's gonna need a fork, and maybe he might share with Jenna.
I don't know. There is no sharing at this day and age, but sir.
I want to taste the sauce. Oh man, that fly's
This
been here
guy's
all
been
day.
there whole day. Yeah, we've been fighting it.
Man, this sauce is delicious.
Isn't it good?
Yeah, and the little bits of the.
It works.
It's so good.
It's just this nice little bites that is exceptional with wine.
This would be such a great summertime dinner. It's nice and light. It doesn't take
Appetizer,
a
yeah.
ton of cooking. You could have this in a nice big salad. Would be really delicious for.
And maybe some bread on the side to dip in the salad. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I like to eat in the summertime. You don't need. I mean, this has got a lot of butter, but we're giving you a 2 tablespoons, maybe a tablespoon and a half of 25 mils of salt. So it's not.
Do you want one?
No, I'm good. I just cooked it.
Okay, I'll go eat them all. They're delicious. So, would this work with the smaller scallops if you live somewhere and can't access the
You
big
can
ones?
saute them, you can caramelize them, but yeah, it would work. Just yeah, absolutely. But they're frozen, available everywhere.
Yeah, and this
In
sauce and rhubarb pickle would be delicious with halibut, any kind of really rich
Any
white
fish.
fish. Yeah, it would
Any
be really
fish.
good. Okay, now make my dessert, please, chef.
Okay. I'm not gonna fight you today because of Cinco de Mayo. You're already hungover. All right. Are you ready for this?
Do it. Oh, that pinata is gonna kill you.
A lot of things tried. I don't think I'm gonna die anytime soon. Okay. Soufflés go in the oven. Doug, 12 minutes.
Doug.
On it? No? All right.
Oh, wow. Gladys just said she ordered a bunch of the ají sauces from last week's class, and she got it today. She was so
Set a
excited.
timer for 12 minutes, which I can't. Yeah, I can't do. There you go.
It was inevitable, Kathy. Kathy saw the pinata taking you out, chef.
Huh? This side? Sure. Doesn't matter. It's a love and hate relationship where I have with the pinata. Okay, so 12 minutes on the dot. It depends on your oven. Don't use convection oven because the reason, if you have a strong convection, as the souffle rises, the convection will just blow it, and then you might have it lopsided. It might topple over or whatever. I don't know. So caramel. Normally caramel recipes would give you, now this doesn't work for large batches of caramel, which is say about, if you're making 20 liters of caramel, don't do this. But normally caramel recipes would say to start with the sugar and water, but that takes forever. And in my line of business, which I've done a lot of volume, time is very, very, very precious. So, to this, I have my 1 cup of sugar, 90 mils of butter, 120 mils of cream, and my diced rhubarb. My pan is getting hot, which I'm going to crank it all the way up. Now, I would suggest, excuse me, start with a medium-high heat if you've never done this process, and ease into it. But you can go 100 miles an hour by all means, which we're going to do today. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a dry pan. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar, and I'm going to bring it up to a caramel temperature, and I'm going to add more sugar and cool it down. But what I would have in the pan would be a stabilized base that was just going to really speed up the whole process, okay? Because if I was to put the water and the sugar in here, it would take twice as long. Now, a little bit of sugar, you might see a little bit of smoke coming out. Toss it around, toss it around. A little bit more sugar, cool it down. All right, now
That is smoking.
Yeah. It is a Fast and Furious. Now, what is happening here is just that the whole thing is catching up. Now, with your wrist motion, please be very, very careful because this is hot sugar. If it touches your hand, it will go through your skin. As soon as the sugar is in, as soon as the sugar that's in liquefies, add more sugar. And it's nice and dark brown. Now, let's just stop for a second.
So the only thing in the pan right now is sugar.
Just sugar. And I can't lift it up because it's a matter of timing thing. A little bit more sugar. Okay. And now it's slowed down. I'm back on the heat. Heat is going up to medium. Okay. More sugar. And see, it took all the whole cup of sugar. How long was that? About a minute? Tops?
I've never seen this method before.
No, well, I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve.
Pro tip.
And as you can see, beautiful caramel in a matter of minutes. People never question the rules and regulations. That's why.
I do.
Some of my friends and myself has just done it. And once you see that light smoke, add your heavy cream. This is just to stop the temperature. Now, the steam that's coming out of it is hot. So step back for a second. And if you're doing 20 liters of this, get all the children, dogs, pets, everybody out of there. And I suggest you stay out of there too. Now, as you can see, the whole thing is bubbling and melting away. Once this happens, turn it off. Add nice amount of butter. And whisk your butter in. Oh, I love sugar. Sugar is one of the coolest things. Working the sugar is one of the coolest things, I think, in my opinion.
That smells so good.
But I'm easily. Well, how fast that was!
I know, it's really fast.
Yeah, that you're not waiting on the boilage. You're keeping an eye on it. You're doing back and forth.
You don't need a thermometer.
You don't need a thermometer. All you need is Dennis and his two hands. Rhubarb goes in, so this keeps freshness and the shape and the crunch.
So that's just a finely diced.
Just fine diced rhubarb. There's nothing to it. It's not seasoned. It's not anything. And then I'll show this to you. See, it looks like $1 million. There's a little bit of here. Let me get rid of this. There's a little bit of caramel stuck to the spatula, but the sauce itself.
That won't harden in the fridge, will it? Yeah, I guess it will.
It would harden, but not like a dry caramel would. It'll be pliable. Sorry.
So if you want it, you just warm it up again to use it
No,
warm.
microwave it. Nuke
Yeah.
it. Nuke it. And then, and then that is my beautiful caramel sauce. Now let's taste this for seasoning.
We're good with the rhubarb. I'm
Pinch of salt.
excited.
Salted caramel is a thing now.
I want to try the sauce.
No.
Yep, I'm coming in.
Security, please.
Don't worry about it. Oh my God. That's delicious.
Of course it is. I just made it. Awesome. So, Doug, is Doug still there?
Doug's around, yep. Doug's got his timer working, I think.
Working? What are we at? No? Nothing? All right.
Nothing from Doug.
We are at 5 minutes. Now I got 5 minutes to fill. I'm going to go and steal one of my pastry chef's biscottis. This is an almond biscotti. I didn't include in the recipes because I would love to see you coming down to the store, saying hi to the kitchen, and grabbing a well-seasoned biscotti. Recipes are dime a dozen, but I thought since the whole thing is nice and soft and super sensual, it would be nice to have a little bit of crunch. Not that it needs it.
Doug says 9 minutes, chef.
What were you doing yesterday, Doug? Dude, we're at 5 minutes, so we're about like 3.5 minutes now. Anyway, I'm gonna transfer my beautiful glossy sauce. Voila, sauce. That goes into the dish pit. And I really like, and for this, I would love to thank Eleanor for showing us how it's done, but I mean, it's kind of as good as it gets. Okay, no questions, Angie?
Nope. Everybody's just excited for the caramel, I think.
I'm gonna do what I do when I'm bored best, and I'm gonna keep on
Keep drinking?
drinking. Yeah, it's just the timing is really nice and right.
So is rhubarb something you like shop for, chef, or do you care about it, or is it one of those ingredients that you get excited when it's available?
Excited, I am, because it tells me that it's the catering season and I'm going to be making some money outdoors and this and that. People are just, goes out. I mean, this is an odd year. And the reason why I get excited is we have an incredible climate that yields some of the best produce. Like, I'm from Mediterranean, and I work with exceptional produce. What I thought it was exceptional, but the soil is here. It's just incredible. And it's like the produce that comes out of it here, starting April and so forth, is just phenomenal. And that I am excited about. And rhubarb, just like we talked about, rhubarb and asparagus, morels, spot prawns is a good indicator of the good times coming. I love cooking with vegetables. They're dirt cheap. They're I mean, they're not dirt cheap when you have when you buy the local produce, but it's as exciting as it gets. So seeing rhubarb means that we're heading into good times, and I'll be having a blast in the kitchen with all the new produce coming out. All right, what do you think? Is the soufflé going to work out or what?
Barb's asking if we can do another spot prawn class.
Well, we're waiting for it. Yeah, maybe we should do that next week.
We did one last year, didn't we?
No.
We didn't?
We did scallops.
Maybe that was Chef Craig who did spot prawns. So
I think so.
yeah.
I think so.
So
But
sure, Barb, we can do a spot prawn class.
can we get them next week?
I'm gonna have to get a mortgage though, so give me a couple weeks to figure some financing out. And
That was my joke. And we're only cooking one person. That joke makes no sense.
yes, let's do a GoFundMe for this one.
Send all the money here. I'll put it into good use. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we can
I
do
got
that as soon as they're available, Barb. Maybe in the next week or two.
Yeah, and also we are open to suggest. Do we have anything going on for the next week planned?
Next week? No, not yet.
Okay, if you have any suggestions that are reasonable, we're more than happy to.
That are reasonable. I like that you put that
just-
caveat in there.
Don't ask for lamb barbacoa or whatever. We're gonna set up a pit and just like or a whole suckling pig or whatnot, which I can't. But
So the soufflés that you have in the oven, you have to make those basically right when you're going to serve them. This
Nope.
isn't something
3-4 hours in advance, you can make the batter, put it in the fridge.
Right.
It actually, any batter you've ever done, which I don't know if it's going to succeed or not because I didn't look at it, but any batter, if it goes in the oven, it is, and you let time to settle it, it equalizes it and it's good for the batter. And that's the secret to good Yorkshire puddings, to make the batter the day ahead of time. So the whole thing, it actually hydrates, flour takes over, and it gains a lot of body. Also, the cross temperature from the fridge to a hot oven will give you that spring. Just like, just you take an ice cube and dump it in a deep fat fryer, see what happens. And don't do that, obviously. But that cross temperature actually really, that's Doug. Thanks, Doug.
But my question was, you have to bake it right before you're serving it. You can't bake this ahead of time. This is something you make to serve.
So everybody eats their dinner. It's in your fridge. You gauge it. Well, give people some time to digest their dinner. And then when you think the 10 minute is right, you just go for it.
Are you nervous to open the oven now, or what? Are you thinking
I'm
this
not. I'm just
pinata
faking
is
it.
gonna sneak up on you again?
This time I'll punch him.
No pressure, Chef.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, they're so fluffy.
I mean, not to brag, but
Well,
I
it's,
have many leather-bound books, and my place smells of rich mahogany.
well, it's no bloomin' onion, but
No, it still is not. But I mean, look at that. It's got that thing.
it's what?
What's it got?
Do it again?
No.
Your little corgi wiggle.
Corgi wiggle, yeah. And also, it's a scientific that the bears have corgi butts, just so you know.
So Barb's also suggesting a class on pasta making. You can pretend it's done by the pasta grandpa.
Barb, I'm going to take a minute here. I'm having a moment, so just...
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
And then you just dust it with icing sugar, because all that sugar and butter wasn't enough.
Melanie's suggesting we do a crab cake class with local crab. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, Miss Angie Quaale.
Wow, Doug's impressed with this dessert, chef. I'm impressed with this dessert, chef. He's so proud of himself. It's so funny. I love it.
Well, you know, I'm just going to have my... sorry, this one.
Is that for David?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's for David. You want one too? Sure.
Oh, you forgot your caramel.
No, you're just going to open the belly up and then pour some caramel in there.
So just open up the center of the souffle.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And pour in some caramel. Oh, actually, I will give you guys some caramel too. Here too as well, please. That's good. I'll take that. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. You know, my dad would be dying
Oh,
right
you're
this
having
minute.
the big one. Here, watch yourself. So open up the belly.
Holy cow.
Watch yourself.
Oh my gosh. That's so good, chef. And this was really easy. You and your piñata. I'm glad you made a friend.
I think I'm going to take this home. You might see this on YouTube.
Do you want a bite before I double dip?
Nah. I achieved what I have to do.
This is so good. Can we have this for lunch tomorrow?
No.
Oh, all right. Wow.
Delish? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looks good.
The rhubarb's a bit lost because the chocolate's so intense, but I can still get the caramel. I can taste the caramel and stuff.
It'll come as like a little bite and you go like, kind of thing.
Less dramatic than that,
Less
maybe, but are you okay there?
I am having a great time.
All right, he's got
I
his
miss my
bubbly.
dog. So when I get in the shower, my dog goes to the hamper and grabs a sock and just sits on it. It's the same thing. I just missed my dog, and I'm just, practicing until I get to him.
Okay, you can totally make this at home. I don't know why I never think of it.
You know what it is, though? Like, it's because it does. This is a difficult. So here's the thing about the restaurants. Labor is expensive. Only really fine restaurants can afford to have a pastry chef during service. Now, if you have normally pastry chefs would arrive in the morning, and they would prep everything, and then the cooks would just like serve it at night. So that eliminates the hot dessert factor for the longest time. But that's how I gauge a restaurant and how classy it is. If you have a hot dessert there, then gets your attention. So hot desserts are not a big thing in North America, just probably due to that. But they make all the difference, and it's just.
But I never think to make souffle at home. It's really an easy thing to do. It's ingredients you typically have on
when you
hand.
do everything right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you typically have all the ingredients on hand, some eggs and cocoa. So it's not some big exotic dessert that you need to make it, source a ton of ingredients, but it's so impressive.
And honestly, we made it right in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
We didn't do an ahead of time thing. The only thing ahead of time thing was just like to butter my ramekins. So it's not that difficult. A little bit of enthusiasm, and yeah, just read a recipe or just watch the segment again. I've just done it in front of you. I mean, there's not a whole lot of secret to it.
So this video will live here on Facebook, and it'll be on our YouTube channel and on our website. So you can pop over and watch this recipe again if you'd like to just have a quick preview before you attempt it at home. He goes home after this class and watches the video.
Myself and Angie.
And then he comes back the next day and always says, "That was pretty good last night."
No, when it's good, it's always a blast. We never have bad time. But some days, just have difficulties in this and this. I'm very self-critical. I'm never satisfied with what I put out, absolutely. But that just pushes you to just do a little bit better.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So next week, Chef and I will come up with a plan. If spot prawns are around, let's do some spot prawns. Crab season's
We'll
open.
talk to Heather.
Yeah. Crab season's open. So we've got some good ideas. So thanks for your input there. And yeah, like I said, pop onto the website, check out this recipe, make these dishes at home. Seriously, make that rhubarb sauce. You don't have to have scallops. You can have some, like Chef said, some whitefish. It's a delicious sauce. And rhubarb is available. It's just starting to be more available. It's still maybe a little bit hard to get, but last year I was looking for some fresh rhubarb for the store, and I posted on Facebook, do any of my friends have rhubarb in their garden? And within a few minutes I had like a ton of messages. People who have it can never use it all, so they're always really happy to share it.
Yep.
So ask your friends if they've got some rhubarb to spare, and I'm sure they'll be
It's
happy
like my
to.
apple tree. Like when it comes on, it's like 300 pounds. I'm like, okay, this got out of hand pretty fast.
Applesauce for everybody. So thanks again for joining us tonight. Thanks to David and Jenna for your help with everything. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the store. Come see us. We've got a really busy weekend this weekend for Mother's Day. So Chef and I will be in the kitchen all weekend. So pop in, say hello. But
and
if we don't,
treat your mom
treat
right.
your mom.
Make soufflé.
Yeah, make her a soufflé. But if we don't see you in the store this week, we'll look forward to seeing you right back here next Thursday on Facebook at 5:30. Thanks for joining us. Good night.